Happy Thursday, everyone. There was a slight delay there. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, conversations worth having. I'm so excited that you're here. If you're catching the replay, awesome. Be sure to jump into the comments even after the fact, because that's where the magic happens. And that's where everyone tuning in live and replay viewers will be able to connect with you. So make sure you do that. Today we have a full show ahead of us, and I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of how the show goes. In the meantime, you can show some love with the emojis, boom, right there. You can comment and you can share this episode out with your friends. Bring them on. It's going to be fun. So the way this works, I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and I have this little show called Ed Talk TV where we talk about the conversations that are worth having. And that can range anywhere from business to tech to the user experience. And so we are going to be talking about that. And if you've missed previous episodes, you're missing out. So afterwards, you can go to checkwithed.com and click on Facebook Live show. The reason why you want to do that is because there's information about the show. There's a way for you to become a guest on the show. And you'll be able to see previous episodes over on the blog, which is nice because then you don't have to scroll through Facebook and get lost and, figure all that stuff out. I have it right there for you. This week we've been talking a lot about Facebook business pages. Today we're going to be talking about going live and all kinds of fun things. What I like to do before we jump into the content is go over a fun random news. And so what we're going to do that in just a second, just so you guys know as well. I have a paid live training, not on Facebook, happening next week for anybody interested. I'll go ahead and drop the link now just so you have it in the comments there, and I'll pin it to the top there. Just so that way you have it. It will cover Facebook Creator, but more importantly, how to do the intro, outro videos like I do here on the show, as well as this little bar. I got to get better about that. This little bar here too. So be sure to jump into the comments throughout the broadcast. We'll do our best to connect with you live as well as afterwards. That's kind of the after party, if you will. So this is the party. The after party is going to be in the comments. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over so that we can see our random news today. So let's take a look at that. So I don't know about you guys, but have you heard about this? It's so crazy to me that teenagers are doing this Tide Pod challenge, which makes no sense whatsoever. I don't even know who thought this was a good idea, but apparently it's a challenge. It's not safe. So if you are a teenager tuning into this, which is awesome if you are, you're one step ahead of everyone else. But if you are, don't do this. And if you have teenagers, please make sure that they know that this is so dumb and that they should not be doing this. But of course, we had to have somebody turn this into a donut to make it all the better, right? And to jump in on this challenge, which is just crazy. So there you have it. That's the random news today. I'm going to keep it super short because I want to make sure we have plenty of time for our guests, who I am going to go ahead and call in just a second here. I got to get my mouse on to the right screen here. And I'm going to go ahead and give our awesome guest call. Feel free to pop in the comments, you guys, while I do that, and we are going to get this party started. So this is exciting. My computer might be a little slow, so bear with me. Get this party started. Woo! There we go.
My TV.
How's it going?
Good.
A little slow, so bear with me. Is that you or me? Let's see. There might be a little delay. Okay. That better? There we go.
Okay, turn that off.
How's that?
Good. Okay. I think I might have had the window up too.
There we go. So, you guys, that's the crazy part, is that we have so much tech going on right now that there might be a slight delay, just so you know, but it's fun. And there's a lot of great content here. At any time, always let us know in the comments if you're having any troubles. Hopefully you won't, but we'll do our best here because we got tons of programs running.
Yes.
So, how are you?
Oh, Ed, I'm so happy and excited to chat with you. But more importantly, like, I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, this is our first, I think, our first live together.
Yes, hopefully not the last.
Yeah, no, for sure. It will not. This is just the start. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone watching, because we have so many people either here live or they'll be watching the replay, and I want them to know exactly who you are.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everyone. I am an income strategist, recent corporate dropout. I have a background in pipeline engineering, managing like really large scale projects. And I quit my full-time job a couple months ago to be a full-time business owner. And I support service-based business owners with helping them really get to six figures. So that's a little about who I am and what I do. I love long walks down Target.
Yeah.
That's about it. But yeah.
That is true. Maya, sorry if the screen's freezing a little bit. Hopefully that will clear up. Sometimes there's a lag with going from my program called Ecamm we're using. It's a Mac program, and it goes through to over to Facebook. So sometimes when you use third party, it can lag there. Hey, Tiffany. I'm also going off my other device so that way it's not using the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Just to help. Oh, and we're also using Skype. So we got a few different programs going on here, which, by the way, anybody else feel like Skype is kind of like AOL these days?
When you said Skype, I was like, I got to figure out what my username is, but your podcast interview today, both of you guys use Skype.
That's so funny.
So I hear the audio's better.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't usually use Skype, but because Skype's the only way to bring a guest on to the show, I have to use Skype.
Well, we figured it out. It's working. We're rolling.
Yep. So awesome. Okay, so today we all know that Facebook Live is the big thing right now, and we know that Facebook is where it's at. How many people watching, even if you're watching the replay, still jump into the comments on this, but how many of you actually have something besides your personal profile here on Facebook, which means your Facebook business page or a Facebook group? Pop that in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, because I'm just curious to see where everyone's at. If you don't have one, that's okay. But you're still going to learn something, because we're going to be talking about Facebook Live, which you can do from your personal profile for personal reasons, and then you can do it in these other spots as well. So just pop that into the comments when you have a chance, and be sure to show us some emojis here. Go past the like. And so, Jerisha, what do you have? Do you have just the Facebook profile? Do you have a business page? Like, what's your setup?
Got all. So one a little bit later on in business that you're actually violating Facebook's terms and conditions if you are promoting, or if you're using your as a product to promote a business. So pretty early on, I found that out and got my Facebook page, and then I have a Facebook group. Quite a few Facebook groups, but Facebook group, Facebook page, and then my standard profile. So all the things. Nice.
And when we'll dive deeper in a minute into the Facebook Live, but are you using Facebook Live in all of those places, or are you starting to focus more on certain sections?
I use Facebook Live, all my Facebook Live page. That's where I always go live from, very similar to you. And then from there, I'll share it out onto the different platforms and spaces. So that's what I do, like overall general type of strategy. But Facebook Live, and I know we'll dive deeper into this, is the reason why my business is where it is. If it was not for live stream, your girl wouldn't be living the way I'm living. So thank you for Facebook Live. The other way that I use it is programs. So most of my courses and programs have like a private Facebook group component. And I typically would do Facebook live streams in there to give them behind the scenes on what I'm doing in my world, to do like pop-up Q&As, or like before I was using, when I was first started and I was having a membership group and things like that, I didn't or a Thinkific. So I think live video component has a lot of different ways that you can leverage it, both from getting new people into your office, getting them to or even using it as a method to actually like facilitate your trainings and programs. So I've used it for all of the above.
Good. And when you guys see me pop my head down a little bit, I pop into the comments. I use my other device to pop into the comments. So this is what it's about with the live show. And when you're a one man, one woman shop, you got all these things to do and pay attention to. So that's
what you're track of the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, just let us know because I'm not going to be looking.
Yeah. So what's cool about this, you guys, is that I actually have on my screen, I have our session here, but I'm looking here, and then I have comments show up on the side, which then I can drive over to the screen like this, and it shows up. And it might be a little delay to show up on Facebook, but you'll see it there, and then I can take them away. So it's really cool. So that's why I encourage you guys to comment, so that one, you're participating in the conversation, but two, you can also possibly be featured on the show, even without being a guest on here. So there you go.
That's super fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And on the page for this for the show over on my site, I will actually start adding some more information about the tech that I use and put everything together so everyone can have a spot when they go there. They can check the show out, they can become a guest, and they can check out the equipment that I use, because I don't spend a ton of money on equipment, and it's pretty simple to use, so it's nice.
Awesome. Good stuff.
So let's dive into it. So what are we going to learn about Facebook Live? How did you start, and what happened afterwards?
So, and one thing, if anybody has any question about live video that you guys want to make sure we get addressed, pop it in the comments too. Yeah. You know I love Q&A. So, but basically when I started my business, I started and the thing that got me traction was just I would start doing a week or once every other week on whatever topic I thought pertained to whatever program or whatever I was trying to sell. And back then, it's like, I didn't have money for advertising. I barely knew what I was even doing or what I was trying to sell or who I was trying to sell to. But I'm like, I need Periscope and doing Facebook Live at the same time. And I found another. And that's, I just started testing out content on live video. And the beauty of live video is you get real-time feedback.
Yes.
People will say, if you get no comments, maybe this didn't land well, or if you're getting a ton of likes and shares, it's like, oh, they must like this topic. So that was really how I started actually, when I was out ideas in my business, how I would actually validate my ideas was by doing live video and just seeing what type of organic engagement I got and how people responded. And that's still something I do to this day, leveraging Instagram story, but I always do it with live video just to learn more about my audience and where people are at.
Sure. And that's a big thing too, because we kind of talked about that the other day, is, testing things out and seeing what works and seeing what might happen with it. And like you said, you can start with your stories and just do a quick video just to kind of get comfortable with seeing yourself, hearing yourself, and talking about some kind of a subject, right?
So true. And it's I think even this, I don't mind. Whenever I would go on stage, I still get nervous.
Sure.
Notice that I'd talk on video and practice my content live. Comfortable talking about it confidently, being able to sell it, being on stage and being able to communicate it effectively because I've done it. I've been practicing.
Right.
So that's really where it all started, was just testing out content and just going live, and that because I'm a talker, blog posts.
Me neither.
And I feel 2 years ago, everybody's like, you got it. And now you write a blog, your website's going to die. And I'm like, I cannot do this. But I'm like, I can talk all day. So I'm like, that's for me was where my comfort zone lied, was in live stream. So I think from there, getting the live stream, I think even in Facebook Facebook Live videos get about 6 times more organic engagement than a generic post will. Some people, what live video gets a higher level of engagement. So when you're brand new in business or even more seasoned, it's a great way for you to get in front of new people organically without you having to pay for ads or doing more of a paid traffic route. So that was what I did to grow my audience, doing live video. People would share it, kind of more of like that word of mouth, like tribal type of thing to bring people in.
And that's huge, because live video now, it's possible for anybody to pick up their phone and go live. Like, you don't need the equipment that I have right now. You don't need a webcam. You don't need a program. You have the program in your hands. It's your phone and Facebook, which is free. So utilize that.
And I think I have a core skills with Facebook, and all of my ladies are like, but Jay, what camera are you using? What mic are you using? I'm like, everything was done off of my smartphone for the first year and a half in business.
Oh, yeah.
I did not have a fancy mic. The most fancy tool I had was this, and this is like a smartphone stand.
I knew it.
$5.
Yep.
So that's it. And you really don't need much more to get started. Like, I think
Oh, for sure.
I had. So, I was using video to test out content, just try to grow an audience, see what was sticking. And then from there, I got a little bit more strategic with my Facebook Lives to help me grow my email list and actually get paid clients.
Okay.
So, am I sharing all the deets on that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, go for it. The show is yours, pretty much.
Well, and I'm interested to know, I guess, in the comments, like, did we already ask, like, who is actually doing live stream?
No, go for it. Yeah, if anybody's watching, even if you're watching the replay, definitely still answer this question. Here's the fun fact, you guys. Today, I was probably about 12 o'clock my time. I was commenting with somebody who was watching the replay from last night as if it was real time. It was so much fun, and they kept up with answering questions during the live broadcast that they watched, even though it was the replay. So remember that this is your time to shine and to be able to put yourself out there, because it starts in the comments, just like you guys are doing. Awesome. Because you never know who's going to watch the replay and who's going to be looking at your comment later and maybe be like, hey, you know what? I really like Tiffany. I want to find out more about her. Oh, maybe we should, have a little chat online. Maybe I want her services. Maybe I'm going to hire her for something, so keep that in mind.
So basically what I was doing, because I sucked at writing blog posts. I struggled with creating those cool little PDF opt-ins back in the day. So I actually decided where I'd make this my accountability group. And every time I do a Facebook Live, I would treat my Facebook group like an opt-in. Yep. So I actually made an opt-in landing page to put in your name and email address to get access to my private accountability group, which was just a Facebook group. So I would use email list through that method, and it was kind of a killing two birds with one stone, because I was getting people on my email list, but at the same time getting them in my Facebook group where I'd be able to continue to nurture and grow. So that was one way that helped me grow my business significantly. I'd say about a third of my email list is the numbers there are because of the Facebook group opt-ins.
Nice.
I think people sleep on that, because again, when I started, I'm like, I don't know what PDF I'm even supposed to make. I don't know what's going to click or not click, like spending all this time, sometimes even thinking about outsourcing to make a cute PDF or whatever. And I'm just like, just do a group. And then so you can actually learn what their real needs are. And then from there, you can kind of go back and start creating other opt-in offers. So that was one way it really helped me to grow my business from an email list perspective, which helped when it came to launch and sell. But also having that Facebook group, and especially now they have the feature where you can ask like the 3 targeted questions. That's game changer.
Yep.
So I asked like one of the questions, struggle you have with selling your services online or whatever your niche is. And then you can now get direct feedback about what their problems are. And then now turns into my Facebook Live content. They basically build my content calendar based off of that question. So it's a win all the way.
Yes, I love that. And I want to point out for you guys who maybe aren't familiar with the Facebook group part, for those who maybe haven't even gotten into groups yet, or if you have and you kind of notice that there's questions now that people can ask you up to 3 questions prior to accepting you in a group. And so one of those questions, you can utilize that space and have people opt in for your email list. You can put information there. Utilize that space because, again, those answers are what's going to help you build whatever you're working on. And
Absolutely.
you want to make sure that that information you have to actually manually copy and paste stuff still. They haven't created a system yet to export it for you. But still, it's content that you can get for free from people and talk to your people and understand what words they're using and what phrases they're using. So keep that in mind.
So that was game changing. I think a lot of people sleep on that. And again, I think sometimes when we're building, we try to overcomplicate the process.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that I've noticed, because course, I review my students' Facebook Live videos and give them direct feedback.
Nice.
And the consistent thing that I noticed about before they join is, and I'm interested, and we won't have to call anybody out in the comments unless you want to get feedback, but they would have a Facebook Live, but there would be no caption.
Oh.
They would just go live. And scrolling through their feed, like somebody's like, okay, I did my live video, but nobody's watching. And then I'd go back and look, there is no caption, no call to action. I'm like, if I'm scrolling through my feed and I just see your face, I don't know, click and listen to what you're talking about. So I think that's really a game changer. I know it's so simple, but so many people forget to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Is like Ed, you guys, when you guys were scrolling through your timeline, Facebook Live was going to be about, which allowed you to make a decision. Do I want to listen to what Ed and Dreesh have to talk about, or do I want to keep going on about my day and go watch Grey's Anatomy?
Right.
Like, the caption lets you know that, but then I think the next critical call to action, what are you directing people to go do now that you have them watching your video?
Right.
You don't just want people watching. I mean, you do want people watching for the sake of watching, but getting a bunch of views and likes and comments is cute, but how do you convert them? Yeah. There needs to be a very clear call to action.
Yes, exactly. Hey, Whitney. Hey, Paula. Exactly. That's key, you guys. And of course, this is all planting the seed. Don't feel like you should have had all this stuff done. Don't feel like you're late to the party. No, you guys are right where you're supposed to be, and you're learning the overall picture, and you're going to start now mapping out those steps and for yourself, depending on where you're at.
Absolutely. And so that was a mind peak that I started making that, again, significantly increased my income. It's like, I think a lot of the time business owners don't make money is because they're never selling.
Yeah.
And it's not even saying like selling, like you got to be like this easy salesperson, like buy. But it's really just like, how often are you creating the opportunity for somebody to take the next step?
Yeah.
When I was in California a couple months ago speaking, and I kind of made doing a Facebook live stream, and you get people super excited about your content and they're pumped up and they love what you're talking about. But then you just leave and walk away. You're basically like one night standing your client.
Yes.
Get them super excited, great time together, and then you don't give them your phone number so they can text you the next.
Yep.
Cool. So every time you go live and you don't have like a clear expectation around what they can expect from your relationship, the time they're spending with you on live stream. And then if you don't give them a clear call to action, how are they going to be able to follow up with you and continue the relationship? So that's super important to have a clear call to action, whether it's to sign up from this free PDF that's going to help you do X, or like get Ed's creative, what's it called? The Facebook creative.
Yeah. The Facebook creator, training that I'm going to have next week for.
I already bought my ticket just now, before in a few minutes, because Ed made it clean. He made it clear. I'm like, I want to learn this. Ed didn't just get me hyped up and then leave me the next day with no text or no info. He already. I'm like, sign me up. I've already bought my ticket. I will be there. That's on the 24th, right?
Yep.
So it's like very clear, clean call to action. If you want to know more and you gave it very clear about this is what you're going to learn how to do, it makes it simple for me to make a decision. So that's one tip that it's such a small tweak.
And that's a great point. And I will tell you guys too, just from doing these lives, like not only has my engagement on my page gone up and people are connecting more with each other, They're starting to discover me and being able to discover my community. But I've also started to sell more of my services naturally, just organically, and trainings like this one, because it just comes up naturally and it's just there versus me saying, today we're just going to sell my product, so you should tune in because I'm great and my product is great and you need it. You know, it's not an infomercial.
And then I'd say like the other method I've used to actually generate income, because when you're growing your list, you'll be able to sell later on down the line.
Right.
But I had a mastermind group that I launched last year for the first time. What I did was 4 Facebook Live videos. I went back and looked because I'm launching now and I want to see what I did last in. No sales page, just video content.
Yes.
And I literally sold over $40,000 in sales off videos with a call to action with me. Once I got on the discovery call, I went through my process and, guided people to get them. Yeah. But over $40,000 in sales with no sales page, just Facebook content and clear call to action and schedule a discovery call. And when I look back, I know it's crazy.
I hope you guys are taking notes. I hope you're hearting it up over here because that's crazy. That is nuts. That is nuts.
And the thing that helped sell it, because 4 of the 5 people who joined my program, that was the first time they purchased from me, which again was like, they didn't buy some bite-sized offer that was $27 or $50. I mean, it was a like close to 5-figure investment. And off of Facebook Live videos. And I didn't realize this until we were in the program. And I was asking like, how'd you guys discover me? They're like, oh, we saw your live video. I'm like, yeah, but like, what else of mine did you buy? They're like, this is the first time I purchased from you. And I'm like, you guys just paid some random stranger, or like, it was like $9,000 at the time to join a program off of live videos. They were like, well, we were following you for like a month and a half, 2 months. Yep. And the more I started to follow you and watch your live streams, I'd go back and like binge watch your old videos. Yeah. And because of all the old videos, that allowed me to build the know, like, and trust factor. It allowed me to see that you knew your stuff, that you were getting results. And that was like my video content was enough to warm them up to get them to a point where they're ready to say yes.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I'm like, I'm never stopped doing live video.
Exactly. And Tiffany and Paula, yeah, amazing, awesome. Wow. That's the craziness of this, you guys. It's not something, obviously that you should say, oh, forget everything else everything else I'm supposed to do. Yeah. But this is just to show you that you can do this in the same time that you're doing all this other stuff. And it's just simple as picking up your phone, going live.
Yeah. And I think like you don't have to stop doing it. It's like now I use Facebook Live video as my initial. Yeah. And then basically from here, I repurpose my content on Facebook to make it go out to all the other places in the world. So I'm on Facebook Live a week, but then you can upload that video onto YouTube. Now you're on YouTube. You can strip the audio of that Facebook Live. Now you have a podcast. You can transcribe that Facebook Live. Now you have blog posts. So it's, but you're not creating like 4x the amount of that live video. So for me, that's where my content hub, that's my backbone, that's my foundation that I build on. Yeah. But it's not like you have to go make more content. It's just leverage the content you already have and repurpose it.
You guys see why we are such good friends over here? Because of right there. That is exactly it. That is the strategy that I have as well. So that way, that it works as well, is that that's what I made with this show, by the way. In 2018, I knew I wanted to go live more, and I knew I had to force myself to do that. So I created a plan, and when I thought about it as a talk show, I started researching talk shows and seeing what they do, how they present. And then I said, you know what, I can do this. And I literally came out of the gate with, okay, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m., we're going live for an hour. That was scary. It's still scary some days. I'm like, I have to go live 5 days a week? What if I don't have a guest this day? What if I don't know what to say this day? But I'm here and I'm still showing up and I still have content to deliver. You guys are still showing up. You're still commenting. You're still sharing. Like, even if you're watching the replay. So it's one of those things that it works. And then from here, you take this and repurpose it. You know, we talked about stories yesterday. If you've looked at my stories from my personal profile, you know that I took a clip from last night, popped it into my story, also put it over to Instagram and made a post. Like, you create everything naturally here because this is that conversation where we're comfortable. And then you take that and you pull out the audio if you want, you pull out a blog post, you pick the little clips. It's all there for you.
So true. And I know some people might be thinking, let me know if anybody has said this in the comments. I'm scared to be on camera shy. I can't go. Has anybody said that in the comments?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to those folks. Because everybody's like, oh, I have to be outgoing and extroverted to go live on video. And some people are like, well, I'm camera shy. And some people are like, well, Jay, can I just do all my videos Some people will say, well, Jay, can I do my videos pre-recorded and then publish them? Is that fair? And I'm like, think about it. If you do your videos pre-recorded, you're talking to yourself on a camera. If you go live and nobody shows up, you're talking to yourself on a camera. So what's the difference?
Yep.
If you think about it from that mindset perspective, it's the same thing. But I can guarantee you on my Facebook page and scroll and watch my live video.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, y'all. It was the struggle. Okay. You get people like, Jay, you're so good on Facebook Live. It's because we practiced.
Yeah.
You know, nobody came out of the gate just being like, you weren't just born out of the womb knowing how to run a marathon. Like, you had to learn to crawl and then learn to walk and then you learn and then you learn to run the marathon. Like, so I really, the anxiety started off for camera shy. Is Ed pulling out his notes?
Yep. You already know. So you guys, we talked about this. We talked about this in one of the episodes. I think it was last week. We dived deeper into this, but I want to remind you, hey guys, for tuning in. Thank you so much. Be sure to share, comment, and give some emojis there. So if you're struggling, and this works for anything, we're going to focus on Facebook Lives, but this exercise works for anything. You get a 3x5 card. Mm-hmm. You put one topic, just one. It could be your subject, whatever it is that you want. So if I wanted to do web, for instance, I'll do mine, web design, because that's what I do. So I would put web design on the front, and then on the back, 3 talking points. That's it. And I say talking points because we're talking about Facebook Live. You can use this exercise for your services for your website. What are the 3 main things that you want to cover? What are you selling? Those 3 main values points that you're giving, like whatever it is. But it's always one topic on the front, 3 talking points on the back, and then you just go live. That's it.
And I think it's just remembering, I love the beauty of live because it's just like, imagine if you had like your girlfriends over and you're just, you know, talking it up about whatever it is. Like, that's kind of how I like to feel when I do live. You know, sometimes I don't even have a bra on when I go live. I do today because I'm like, I have to look at least halfway decent for Ed.
It's our first date. I mean, why not? Wait till date number 2 or 3, okay?
And then we might start loosening it up a bit over here. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be, and I think that's the beauty of live. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right. And that's the beauty of the live video. Like, it's interesting when I was doing research, when I was creating my Fearless with Facebook course, most viewers actually prefer the videos not to be like overly polished and overly perfect. Oh, yeah. People consume that content, they say on average, the super polished, prepped and primed, like overly produced videos. So that gave me peace of mind too. It's like people are not looking for perfect. Nope. And for all the people who are listening now, like, think about whose videos do you love the most and why do you actually love them? Is it because their hair or their lighting is always perfect or like their background is always clean? Or is it because they're real and authentic and like the kids start screaming in the background and they're like, hold on, let me go get my daughter, or the dog's like chewing up a sweater and they have to stop mid video to like, hold on y'all, he's tripping over here. it's real, it's human, it's life. Like, and I think that's the beauty of live. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, and to follow up with a couple comments here, for sure. Whitney was saying you can even post a pic of a friend close by so you can act like you're talking directly to them.
Yes!
That's good. I like that. And then Tammy had asked, do you always wear makeup when you go live? Because I know for women that's a big thing because, you know,
That's
for me,
true.
I can throw on a hat and just be good. If I, you know, messed up hair and that's all I got to do. I get it.
If you go look at my live videos, you'll see some videos where I'm prepped, prime, and like halfway decently cute. Some of my videos, not at all. Like, and I think I'm one that I don't mind being super transparent about. So like I've done some videos, I call it like Pillow Talk with Jerisha Hawk. I'll be like in bed, just woke up live. So I'm looking a little rough. So I don't think just what are you most natural and comfortable in? You know, if you're most natural and comfortable on the daily and whatever your norm is. But like me, I don't necessarily wear makeup every day. I mean, you guys will usually see me in a hoodie and yoga pants like 6 days out of the week. That's why I show up on my lives. So I think but my audience know that that's just who I am authentically. My wigs change. This is Bianca this week. You know, we had Victoria a couple months ago. Sometimes my natural curls are out. So, and I use that like to build the character story of who I am because that is who I am. So my audience will ask about that. Like, where's Victoria at? Oh girl, where's Bianca? Just what is your natural authentic state?
Yeah, and that's a great point. And, you know, going back to the polished, pre-recorded versus doing live. So the downside of that is that, yes, it's pre-recorded, and most people nowadays are not wanting that. They want the real, authentic you. They want that transparency. The other thing is that if you do pre-recorded, the thing that you miss out on is the conversation directly with the people in the moment. And you miss out specifically on Facebook trying to give you a little boost in the news feed, right?
So
Because that's ideally what you are trying to accomplish here is to connect with your audience and grow it. And the only way you can do that is by giving whatever platform you're on what they want, which in this case, it's Facebook and live video and making a show for moving forward in 2018. Hint, hint, just to give that up.
good stuff. Really good question though.
Yeah, that was a good question. What other kind of tips do you have around like getting yourself in that mindset when you're starting out to just go live? I mean, I know we say just do it, but is there anything that you think of before you go live or used to that you would prep yourself?
So this is something I use, it's something I teach, it's something I still do every time I go live. And kind of to your point, like the car, but even like a simpler version of that is just like, what's the number one thing you want people to walk away with after they get done watching your video? And what is that one thing? Second question I ask myself is, how do you want people to feel after they watch the video? So those are the two questions I've asked myself since day one when I do video. What is the one thing that I want people to walk away with, and how do I? When I go with that intent, sometimes I'll put it on a Post-it note on my computer with that intent. You know, I'm able to pretty much show up and deliver, and it gives me the bit of confidence that I need. So that for me is really like the golden rule of thumb. If you know the number one thing you want people to walk away with, and you're conscious enough to remember how do you want them to feel, it's not all about you.
Exactly.
It is not. Because if you're over there worried about, well, how am I going to look? You know, it's me. You're not here for you. You're here for the viewer and here for the result that you're trying to help people get. So when I ask that question, it helps me get out of my ego and start showing up. And am I showing up with the energy to help produce the feeling that I want them to feel? And if the answer is no, we got to realign. But those two questions are things I always ask.
See, I like that. How do you want them to feel? Because again, guys, and this ties into why Facebook is making these big changes, but this is something that is just natural for us here, is that you want the connection. You want to grow or organically grow your following. You want to be able to connect with somebody. Notice I said somebody, because you're not trying to get all the followers, all the clients, all the things in the world. You're trying to get who wants to hang out with you. You're trying to really work with each other. Just like Drisha was saying, in a relationship, you're hanging out with people and you're coming and you're trying to give them something of value, and they're going to do the same by providing the comments, by sharing, by following up with you later, by sending people your way. You know, like we've already had this discussion where, having Drisha on the show, she's already connecting me with other people that would be great to know about the show, who maybe aren't in my area in terms of Facebook, but they're people that she knows that should be checking into the show to see if it's something that works for them. So it's like, that's how the connections work, and those are meaningful than a like, than a follow, because again, that doesn't mean anything unless there's that engagement and unless it translates to a long-term relationship. Because we're all about that. We're not trying to have these one-night stands, because those are never good, and they never are good, and they never last.
No, and that's not fun. Nobody feels good after a one-night stand.
Nope.
So stop one-night standing your viewers. Stop one-night standing your clients. Like, let's be nice, y'all.
Yeah, and it's so funny because Drisha, I've watched a lot of your lives, and for those who are tuning in, that relationship part was the one thing that I needed to have stick with me for when it comes to things like this, right? Because for me, I can design all day long, your website and everything like that, to building a house. So like for me, that was my thing. Like, I'll build your house for you. I can help you with just the foundation, or I can build the whole thing for you, and then you can decorate, like, whatever, because it's real life with the digital world. So for me, that works. But for when you started bringing up relationship talk and business and things like that in your lives, that's when I was like, oh, that's good. That connects. So, it's those little things that we pick up, even when you walk away from this show. Like, my whole goal for this show is to have you walk away learning something new. You don't have to learn everything. It's one thing. And during the live broadcast, to be honest, my goal is to have you jump into the comments, because that puts you out there. That gets you one step closer to having your voice heard, right? And being to the next level, which will be audio or live or share or whatever. So that's my why and what I'm doing here. And I want you to start thinking about that for everything that you do. Even if you're not in live yet, you still should be thinking about that and trying to make those connections to make it easier for yourself to understand all of this.
So true. I'm not sure if there was, I can't see the comments. Was there anything else that anybody asked, or?
No, right now, no, we're good. That's what I think. Oh, there's this one I'll put on screen. This was just a comment. Pop it on the screen there. Everyone enjoying this, like hardening it up over there. I'm not looking at my phone, so I'm trying to stay with you guys over here.
So I know
hey, Stephanie.
I'm always I don't want you guys just to get hyped up on info and get super excited and energized and motivated. Like, oh, these are great, shared. But like, what's one thing you can go do like tomorrow based off of what you've learned today? So maybe it is you doing your first Facebook Live. Maybe it is you going back and updating the caption, concise titles, and clear call to actions with a link to take somebody where it is you're trying to have them go.
Yep.
Like, and let us know in the comments. We're going to be holding each other accountable.
Yes.
But I like to call these growth assignments. So what is one growth assignment you can go do in the next 24 hours based off of what we've shared and learned today?
I love it. So you guys, that's your challenge. Even if you're watching the replay, I want you to pop into the comments and do that. Tammy says, I'm going to do a Facebook Live once a week. It's on the calendar starting next week. Look at that.
Oh! So, Tammy, are you going to go live tomorrow, letting people know that you're going to start going live once a week? You ain't got to wait till next week.
There we go, Tammy.
Question.
That's your 24-hour start there. That is funny. Yeah, see, Whitney's all, oh, this sounds like a fun challenge. Yeah, this is going to be the challenge. I think it's good. And And even if you play, you're still part of this challenge. Depending on when you watch it, you still have 24 hours. So let's do it. Why not?
It's so, I mean, like, just to give you guys these loving pushes to get you closer to you living in your purpose. Like in my Fearless with Facebook course, it's a 4-week course, but the ladies, a lot of the time it was their very first Facebook Live video. But one of the rock stars did 3 Facebook Lives in the course of her email list by like 150 people just off the live video. And she was able to gain 300 people into a very new Facebook group just off of 3 Facebook Lives. So it's just like, imagine, and she's like, oh my God, I only did this, it's about to be the new, I'm doing the show, I'm getting it on and popping. But like, it allows you to gives you the opportunity to again grow your list like we talked about. It growing that community of people that are actually want to get to know you on a deeper level. And that's only going to do is position her to create an opportunity to earn more money.
Sure.
So just saying, y'all, if you want real results about what's possible, or we talked about even my like 40K launch off of 4 Facebook Live videos.
Yep.
Don't wait. Don't drag the feet on this. And God forbid, like if the video sucks, you can just delete it afterwards. Yep. Worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, it's so true. And you guys, again, what you're thinking here is you're growing yourself. Like I had this conversation. Actually, I think I did an after party on my personal profile. I talked about it last night. I was like, okay, well, if this is the party and the comments are the after party, what is my personal profile Facebook Live supposed to be? So I called it the after party.
Turn up.
Right? But, that's where I got a little bit more vulnerable and explained to people that you grow so much. Like, I still don't like being on video. I still don't like hearing myself on video. After these Facebook Lives, I start watching myself, watching them so I can hear them and hear myself to see how I can change my vocabulary a little bit, how my facial expression can be a little bit better, That's all stuff that you'll start doing later, and it just grows you in all areas of your life. So even if you're like, I'm not doing Facebook Live every day of the week, you don't have to. Every so often.
That Ed.
Say that again?
You're a trooper. Like Ed is the real MVP out here. Y'all, I go live more frequently now, but because it's just organic. But when I started, I was like alive maybe 2 to 3 times a month.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be crazy a lot. Or you can go all in like Ed and just commit. Next 30 days, I'm doing a live once a day.
Yep. But your first commitment though is 24 hours. You have to make one.
Yes.
One and then. And just one. It just takes one. And you know what, you guys? Here's another so simple example, and then we'll jump into the questions popping up in the comments here. But okay. I will tell you that I had, again, you may not make money overnight. Let's just be honest here. Sure. This is building your relationships. This is putting you out there to make that money later. So don't expect to go live your first time and then money's supposed to be in the bank. Like, that's not going to happen. I mean, it may, but it's probably not happening. Like, you got to work up there. But a simple Facebook Live, this was probably, I want to say it was last month, before I started doing the show officially. I had a local client, well, they're a local client now, but I had a local person tune into one of my lives, afterwards emailed me, asked me if I offered some support services for her company. I said yes, and she said, awesome, I'd love to hire you for this 2-hour, workshop that I need you to train people on. I was like, okay. And then I made sure to follow up and ask the question, like, what made you want to choose me? And she said, well, I saw one of your lives and I liked what you brought to the table and you just seemed like you knew what we wanted. So we did it. That's it.
I love that you said, like, it's not going to happen overnight. Because I know when I say I made 40 grand before Facebook Live.
Right.
I've been doing live video for about 10 months, 12 months. The audience was able to go binge watch. There was like 20 or 30 videos for them to, that got them to know, like, and trust. But even to your point, like, I last year because of my Facebook Live videos. I got like 2 or 3 last year because watched the Facebook Live and was like, oh, we need her at this event.
Yep.
Sent me an email on the exact same. And it's always the people who never commented. They never liked. They never shared, but they were watching.
Yep. Those are the secret followers, I call them. And they're always out. That's why I encourage you guys to comment and to share it out and to use the emoji, because now you're no longer a secret, right? Now your voice has become a little bit more heard there. And we're able to then engage with you and help you with these questions. Like Tiffany has, how do you handle trolls, negative, derogatory comments from viewers? Do you ignore them or address them while live?
I don't really get that many.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I've never really received there's been people who say some off the wall stuff, and depending on, I might spin it and make it humorous.
Yep.
Or, I really don't get them that's not really an issue I deal with. I think if you have trolls, like you have arrived.
Yeah.
Doing big things, if you have trolls on your video big enough for people to troll on, like I would applaud yourself in that moment. Like, yo, we got a troll in the house. I'd get hyped.
Yeah, and it's a great question. I haven't really had too many. I think I might have had my first one on Facebook here, but on Periscope it's a little different. Periscope you can get some crazies. To be honest, I wouldn't pay attention to the comments, especially if you're just starting out. I know I say comment and the magic happens in the comments, but if this is your first time going live or the first few times, I want you to focus on showing up and delivering. Mm-hmm. That's it. You can always follow up with people in the comments after you're live. But if that's too much to pay attention to, pretend like it's not there. Like, hide it if you need to. Put a Post-it on your screen, because you're just focused on showing up and delivering. That's it.
True.
And then you can always comment afterwards. And then if you do get people that have, those trolls, you get those trolls in your comments, just ignore them. I mean, if you want to go the extra mile and, make it into something fun, cool. But they go so fast too that you can just forget about them.
I love that. And that's so true.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're almost out of time. Any other things that you want to leave us with? I'm going to make sure you drop your links in the comments as well later. Yeah. But if you have anything else you want to add before I switch it back over here.
I just want to remind everybody, do not growth assignment.
Yeah.
Assignment, it will be a little uncomfortable, but like now you have a collective group of other folks who are watching this now and in the replay who are going to be doing it too. Feel free to tag Ed and I in your growth assignment. We'll pop on or pop in the comments and say hey and give a thumbs up and like congratulate you and all that good stuff. But I think the biggest thing, like learning all this stuff is great, but if you're not actually doing it, it's great to know, but we got to take action on it. And that's where the magic happens, is when you, like you said, go comment, step out. So I'm just asking you guys to do 1 hours to move the needle. You know what my watching, the one person who might have been watching is finally the thing they needed to say yes to you and become a client. You just never know. So that's my thing. Like, go do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Now we're going to talk about having you on the show again because we have some other great topics. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Awesome, guys. How cool was that? Let me bring you back over here so it should just be me on the screen. Give it a second because it's a little delayed. There we go. So that's what it's all about, right? If you have other questions, please continue in the comments. Be sure to engage with each other, not just us, but each other, and hold yourselves accountable. Share with us when you do your challenge. Tag us. Let us know. We want to help you be accountable. If you also want to be a guest on the show, like Jerisha was, all you have to do is go to checkwithed.com and click on a Facebook Live show. All the details are there for you, and soon I'll have all my equipment there. Not that you need that, but I know people ask about that. I pinned the post, the comment here for my live training coming up next week that is not on Facebook because it's a paid one. It's separate, so you can see that if you want, and it's going to tie in what I'm going to show you next. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here, and I'm going to go ahead and leave you with what we will cover in the training next week. See you guys. This episode is sponsored by Stupid Easy. Easily create, share, and sell your online courses. Discover more at stupideasy.com.